Morning everyone. Well, you join me somewhere a little bit different today. I'm on the Suffolk Stour, but I'm on a little side stream that leads out into the main Stour simply because it's so windy today. And I used to fish down here when I was a kid, and there's some lovely little runs along, there's some little glides. It's so narrow and it's quite shallow, but quite often you can get some really good fish out of it. It's packed full of them. You can get chub, roach, dace, everything out of here. Some clonking perch in here as well. I've seen some massive perch in here in the past. So I'm going to get my gear set up. I think I'm going to try up the top end first, and then I'm going to work my way down there. Probably put my waders on, because a lot of the time you need waders. You can just get out past the weed here. There's bushes and trees everywhere. I've got a little short rod that I'm going to be using. So yeah, I'm going to give it a go. See if we can find a few fish. So I'll see you in a bit. Decided on this little swim here. I haven't actually put the float through yet. I've been feeding a bit of bread in. So I think the best thing to do is just put it through and see what's about. I'm using bread again. Try with small little bits of flake to start with. As I said, I used to fish this as a kid. It's so windy today, it's unbelievable. That's why I kept off the main river today. Let's have a little look through here. Very bright as well. There's a little touch straight away, look. Straight away a tiny little roach. Great fun on a little rod. I'm using my little 8-foot GTI rod. It's a Harrison blank I have made for me. Very small rod, and it's ideal for here because there's trees everywhere in the way. Absolutely packed full of fish. don't mind catching them all day long. Oh, there he goes. Small river roach. That was on a big bit of bread flake, that was. Just goes to show you, come off the main river and get onto these little side streams. They are absolutely packed full of fish. I think I'll probably put my pouch on in a minute. Who knows what's lurking beneath the surface here? There could be anything down here. It's not affecting me, this wind. It's just a fisher trot here. There might only be small ones, but people will just walk past pieces of river like this. They won't even think about putting a rod in here or a float through here. But they can quite often give you a bonus fish. And there's plenty of other swims up here I'm going to try as well. I know the season's coming to an end, but I've probably got one more day of fishing left. That'll be the last day of the season. Jumped out, that one. It's like being a kid again, this. Great fun on a tiny little rod. Yeah, I think I said I had this rod made for me down in the New Forest. We'll need the discorder on that one. Yeah, down in the New Forest by a fellow called Mark Tunley. He does all Harrison blanks. And it's a Harrison 8-foot GTI rod, and I asked him to design this so that it's good for roach fishing and also be able to pick up a bonus chub and be able to handle it. And I have had some big chub on here over £4, and I know it handles it well. It's absolutely perfect little rod for little rivers. Another roach. Oh, this is absolutely brilliant, this. Just love it. As you feel the fish taking the bread on this rod. You know when you got a bite, the float doesn't even have to go under. You just feel a little thump on the tip. Just going to have a few runs through and just see if there's any bigger ones down here. Because I'm sure if the river the rivers up a bit, then you're going to get some bigger roach hanging about here. It's a perfect little place for them. It's a nice steady bit of pace. You've got a nice little crease going through there. This is about the widest bit of the river, this. The rest of it's half this side. It's so narrow. Pretty much all roach here, just like it used to be when I was a kid. This is the stretch of river I spoke to you about in one of my earlier videos, the day I met Ken. And this is a stretch where I was supposed to have met him and he never turned up. If you look back at my earlier videos, you'll see all about this little stretch that he found for me. It's literally 2.5 foot deep here, maybe a little more. But this is about as much fun as you can have standing up. Tiny little rod, bit of bread, and a narrow little river. Well, I think we've established there's a lot of small fish down here. No matter how big the bread I put on, even bits like that, the small fish still seem to take it. They must be hungry here because nobody ever fishes it, I reckon. I suppose it's good to see so many small roach then in the river, you know. There's got to be a few chub around here as well, I would imagine. Oops. Because there's a lot of overhanging trees and just looks like chub heaven along here. Well, that's putting a bend in the rod. I don't know if you can see that. It's another roach. Just lift him out. I don't think this fish has ever been caught in its life. I mean, look at it. Just never been caught. It's just roach after roach here. I would certainly suggest that if anyone's got kids and they want to teach them a bit of river fishing, then this is definitely one place I would take them. You know they're going to catch here, they're not going to get bored. It's just fish after fish, and I'm sure the odd bonus one can turn up here. All they need is a little cheap rod, little reel, and they're away. So I'm certainly having fun here. The good thing is, I haven't been hit by a pike. Not yet. I mean, most people will be happy catching them all day long. Look at them. Beautiful condition. Never been caught. And you haven't got to worry about overfeeding them on bread here, that's for certain. There's just so many of them down there. You just keep it in the middle of the river. There's a little crease that runs down there, and it's just right, it is. There's one on. As soon as it gets down there, they're on. I mean, look at that. They're getting bigger. They're certainly getting bigger. I should really get the net out for these, but I can just about lift them. Let me just show you the condition of these fish. If I just bring it up to the camera there, you can just see that there's not a mark on them. Look at that. They're immaculate fish. Let's get him back. I'm just putting the maggot through now, just to see if that makes any difference to the catch rate. Oh, still having it. Change straight from bread to maggot. I'm guessing it's going to be more chub now. And there's the first chub. I quite often find when I'm fishing bread and I switch to maggot, I get more chub come along. So that is the smallest roach I've ever seen. It's miniature. I'm just putting 2 reds on. And there's a dace. It's just everything in this bit of river. Chub, roach, dace. They may not be the biggest fish, but still good fun. Another dice. Is that a dice? Yep, that's a dice, that one. It's got a gob full of maggots. It's surprising, isn't it? Just by switching a bait, you start to catch different fish. Hardly get any dace on the bread. The odd couple of chub, but as soon as you put the maggots in, the chub and dace come along. Another one. It's a roach this time. I'll have to change my float to an orange top. Bit of a struggle to see that going through there with that reflection off the water. It's literally every trot through there's a fish at the moment. It's not a roach, it's a dace. If it's not a dace, it's a little chub. But it's literally every time you put that float through, you're going to get a bite. That was a touch. Didn't even bury that float, it just stopped. It wouldn't matter how much bait you pumped into here, you're just going to keep catching. And just keep coming. Just about lift that. Another cracking little roach. Just keep that feed going in, then fish will just keep coming. I don't think, like I said before, I don't think you'll ever overfeed them here. I've just changed to an orange top now, I can see it a lot better. This is one of those swims that no matter what you put on the hook here, I think you'll catch. Literally anything. They might not be the biggest fish in the world, but it's great fun. And I hope you guys are enjoying it. And what makes you keep going is the fact that you just don't know. There could be something bigger down there. There could be a real decent roach or a decent chub down there. And on its day, it could just take your bait. So you've always got to keep trying these swims out. Another roach. I'm putting a bunch of 3 maggots on here, hoping I can get something a bit more sizable down there. But the small fish are still taking them. Oh, that was something a bit bigger then. Came off though. That felt like a chub, that one. I felt the weight of that just then. It's funny because the lights just dropped as well. That definitely felt a bit bigger, that. That was on and then it was off. That's a shame. Would have been nice to get that in for the camera. Feels a bit bigger. Feels like a roach. That's not as big as I thought. Still good size though. Another roach. Well, I'm probably going to wrap up now. We had quite a lot of fish out today. We haven't had any monsters, but it's been good fun. Probably finish on this fish. So if you like the channel, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And even press the notification bell so you can be informed when new videos are out. And I'll see you on the next one.